Alright YouTube, to start this haircut off, you're gonna see me going with the comb, combing the hair down, laying everything down the way it's supposed to be laid. You wanna work with the clean canvas, okay? So before putting any clip or any trimmer onto his hair, onto his head, you wanna make sure you comb it down. After that, he wanted a 5 against the grain all over the head. So that's what we're doing now. Remember, it's a 5 close, not a 5 open. Alright, so after everything's down to a number 5, everything's the same length, we're gonna start off our first guideline, which is gonna be our bald line. He wants a mid-high, meaning he wants to keep the darkness by the parietal ridge, and high meaning no C cup. So that's right here. You see me putting in my guideline, erasing the C cup completely. Alright, so after you've set your first bald guideline in, you want to grab your shavers and start shaving the head. When shaving, remember you want to grab a pattern. You don't want to go all over the place. You want to make sure you get every single hair out of there. That's not only going to help your face look cleaner, but it's going to help you retain clients. Most of the time, clients come back because of how you skin them out. So keep that in mind. So right here, you're gonna see me go with the shaver in different angles. I'm gonna go right to left, left to right, up, down, down and up. Right here, I'm just making sure I get it as close to the skin as possible. Alright, so you're done with the shavers. So now you grab your tool guard and you're gonna debulk. So right here, I'm just prepping my fading section. I want to do this because, again, you want to work with the clean canvas. You want to see what you're doing. You want to see what you're fading. As I cut, you're going to see me go over the same section a couple times. That's just to ensure that everything's that same length. You don't want your haircuts to come out choppy, messy. You want them to be organized. So right here, I slapped on my number 1.5 guard open, and I just bring it down more. I keep doing the same thing. Go over it a couple times, make sure it's at 1.5 length. Alright, so I prepped my fading section, and now the next step is our second guideline, which is going to be the lever open. I go up about an inch and a half, and as I go up, I make sure I'm flicking out. Alright, not to fade that bottom line out, you're going to go with your lever close, and as soon as you tap the line, you make sure you flick out. So you flick at the line. After that, you're going to see me open it up halfway, so it's halfway open right now. Anything that's left, that lever halfway open will take care of it, I promise. After that, I'm gonna detail that line. I'm gonna close the lever, and I'm gonna go with my corners, making sure everything's smooth. I promise you, this is the best, fastest, more efficient way of fading out that bottom line. faded out that bottom line already, so on to the next step, which is our one guard close. We snap on that one guard, we close the lever, and we go up about an inch and a half. Again, make sure you go over that same guideline multiple times. Make sure it's that same length all around. Alright, so now to fade out that guideline we just created with the one guard close, we snap on our half guard, lever open, and we go over the guideline. We want to make sure everything's the same length. Now, you're going to see me close the lever halfway and flicking out. Again, flicking out is very important with fading. It's just going to make your work so much easier and faster, so make sure you flick out. Anything that's left after that, I'm going to close the lever and I'm going to detail it. So the half guard did a pretty good job of taking care of that one guard close guideline that we created, but I could still see some dark spots. So I'm gonna take off that half guard and I'm gonna just go with the blade, open, close, open, close. I'm gonna detail and I'm gonna play with the lever. Alright, so we faded out that bottom line. We faded out the guideline we created with the one guard close. Now we snap on that 1.5 guard open and we go over that guideline just to make sure it's the same length. Alright, so the next step is to fade down. So what we want to do is we want to connect the 5 guard length that we have on top to that 1.5 that we have on the sides. So to do that, I snap on my 4 guard, lever open, and I just attack that line. I go over it multiple times to make sure it's the same length. After that, you're gonna see me close it right here. I closed it halfway, and I'm attacking that line again. I'm doing the same thing, flicking out when I get to the line, going over it multiple times, making sure it's the same length. And now I'm gonna close the lever and do the same thing over again. Alright, so that 4 guard didn't really get the job done. So we snap on that 3 guard, lever open, and we do the same steps we did with the 4 guard with the 3 guard. So it's gonna start lever open, lever halfway closed, lever completely closed, attacking that line, flicking out whenever we get to the line, going over the line multiple times to make sure it's that same length. So as we can see, that 3 guard really did a good job by taking out that line. So we move on to the next step. 1.5 guard, lever halfway open. Because remember, we already went through that guideline with the lever open with the 1.5 guard. So we go lever halfways, and it's the same system. Lever open, lever halfways, lever fully closed, attacking that line, flicking out whenever we get to the line, going over the line multiple times to make sure it's the same length. So that 1.5 guard didn't really take out that guideline. It softened it up, but it didn't take it out. So to fade it out, we're gonna snap on that 1 guard. We're gonna lever play. We're gonna flick out, go over that guideline multiple times. Make sure it's the same length. Make sure it's smooth. Make sure it's faded. Alright, so we took out that guideline, but we're left with another guideline right above it. Remember, we were left off with the 3, so that's a 3 guard length. So we go with the 2 guard, lever open, and then it's the same system all over again. Starts off lever open, then it goes lever halfways, and then lever close completely. So to really bring the fade together and make sure it looks smooth, make sure it looks good, we're gonna snap on that 1.5 guard, lever open. We're gonna lever play, detail it, attack that line, fade it out, smooth things out. So right here you see me close to lever halfways and attacking that line. I'm telling you guys, it's the same system all throughout the haircut. So except for that second guideline with the lever open, that one is gonna be closed, halfways, closed. Everything else is gonna be open, halfways, closed. Make sure you flick out. So right here what I'm doing is detail work. We're point cutting with the scissors. All right, so this is a good technique for tight spaces. When you see, even if it's just one hair or a group of hairs that they're somewhere where they're not supposed to be, where it's too dark, take out your scissors and do this right here. Boy, I promise you. So after that, I'm gonna do scissor over comb, and that's just to take some of that weight off, and so it could be easier for me to line them up. Alright, we finna line them up now. So we're gonna spray some hairspray, we're gonna brush it down, and then you guys are gonna see right here his right side is pushed back. So I asked him, you want me to push the left side up as well, just to make it even? He said, nah, just cover it up with enhancement, I'ma let it grow. So I said, alright, that's what we finna do. That's what we did. Alright, we're gonna run that clip back. Yup, this is how he sat in my chair. This is how he sat in my chair, man. But this is how he got up, bro. Let's go. If y'all like the cut, make sure you like the video, subscribe, comment what y'all want to see next, and go follow me on my Instagram.